baggy ass Arabian Nights gear on.
They thought they was clean as hell with the damn. They look like some monkey ass.
Okay, let's buckle back down and get to where they go when they got over here. So they controlling the politics from the Washington Masonic Lodge.
Let me get that pulled up, please.
Geography is everything. It's about the real estate. All of the sigils on Washington, D.C. is a great kanji.
I know it.
You see it?
Yeah. And why Benjamin Banneker said to help them niggas set that shit up there? Was he in with them niggas?
Who?
Benjamin Banneker.
His fez is in the memorial.
Huh?
His fez is in that Washington memorial.
Oh shit. So the ones that got the dirty Moors that got their feds collected.
Well, look, we call them dirty Moors, but we're gonna be 100. They came over here to challenge us in the kinds of war because they wanted to take over Earth.
Yeah.
You can call them your enemy, you call them dirty Moors, you call them what you want. They some smart ass motherfuckers because they had all of us niggas over here stumped. Yeah. Until they let some little old nappy head motherfucker from Pontiac, Michigan get out the penitentiary and take the test.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's a galactic chess game. You got to know where the pieces is moving. So the Jewish Defense League, why the FBI don't arrest them for extortion of Tupac, Michael Jackson, motherfucking Biggie, R. Kelly, everybody that you know of that went to prison or got murdered in the last 50 years in Hollywood, their name is in their file and the FBI is aware of it. So why is the FBI not doing anything?
Are they the same people that started trying to frame Michael Jackson with those kids, little kids?
Yes, the same motherfuckers.
Damn.
They the same motherfuckers. Look, they called the Jewish Defense League in public. They 32-degree Scottish Rite Freemasons in private, and they also Moors in public.
More Jews.
More Zionist Jews.
Yeah, more Zionists. It's right there, man. Zionist Jews. It's right there, man. The learned elders of Zion. It's all right there. It ain't no, I mean, this shit is clear as day now.
Okay, now, remember when we went to Trotsky and he had Malcolm X on the cover?
Uh-huh.
Because it's through the study of Leon Trotsky that you end up finding a guy from Barbados by the name of C.L.R. James. I had sent you a picture before, but you can pull him up.
All right.
C.L.R. James was the entire philosopher for Stalin, Lenin, and he was good friends with Trotsky. Leon Trotsky got murdered by the same motherfuckers that murdered Noble Drew Ali. That's him. Look, he's one of the most prolific minds of the last 100 years. Most of us don't know who this guy is because we don't get a good Moorish education. All right, now, in his writings, he's given us the blueprint in order to go back to our ancestral ways, but it's concealed under the doctrine of communism. So Trotsky's book was after a conversation with him. They were talking about how we would come to prominence and how to organize the people in the Black nationalist movement to a tribalist agenda using communists as the cover story. Uh-huh. Right? But if you don't know who the chiefs is, you won't never figure it out. Uh-huh. So Malcolm X said, I'll work with anybody who's willing to change this rotten condition on this planet we face. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Right? Remember that? Uh-huh. And then he set up something called the OAAU, right? Organization for African American Unity. Uh-huh. But he didn't have to do that because we already had UNIA. Okay. Right? Now, when we roll out of the 60s, right, and we coming into the 70s, we rolling into what we call the gang era. Uh-huh. The gang era was on the heels of the counterintelligence programs, the extermination of the leadership. Okay. right? So from here, we had to show you their modus operandi with Maurice Bishop. Pull him up.
Maurice, got their ass.
Now, Maurice Bishop was the prime minister of Grenada, and he had brought drastic change to an island that was in a similar condition as Haiti.
Is this white dude?
No, there you go. That's him.
Oh,
They
yeah.
murdered him. CIA put a hit on him and killed him.
They had a meeting with Fidel Castro, same nigga that was meeting up with Malcolm X.
Yep. The CIA murdered him.
Why they killed him?
You got to study his story. He had fought America and beat him. They had sent some special ops from America down there, and he ran their ass up out of there, and he was setting Grenada up to be independent. He built an international airport in Grenada, started giving jobs, making the people of the island have a way to support themselves. He was very important. He was for the islands. He was a Malcolm X type figure or a Stephen Biko type figure.
Okay.
Right. And so they had to get rid of him because he wanted us from the land. And the people support us over a person that's an imposter because they recognize the difference immediately because of some shit called sincerity. Right? Now, this was around 83 when they murdered him. Who's in the White House in 83?
83 is Reagan.
Ronald motherfucking Wilson Reagan. When Reagan was in office, Reagan wasn't running the country after his assassination attempt. Bush was running everything after that.
Yeah.
That's why Reaganomics started off galvanizing the economy. Right? And then it became voodoo economics when Bush tried to, he introduced a massive amount of narcotics into the community to suck the wealth back out fast as it go in. The side effect is it produced Big Meech. It produced motherfucking Freeway Ricky Ross.
That's right. Go ahead.
It produced Harriet. Right? And we learned how to come up from nothing using the poisons that they was pushing us down our throat. Hey, so once Big Meech get into the money, now he don't have to do shit. He can switch over and become legitimate. Because in the boys in the hood, it's always hard. Come talking that trash, we'll pull your card. Want nothing in life but to be legit. Don't quote Eazy-E because I ain't said shit. And so this is what the whole struggle is, to keep all of the chiefs on the land, no matter where you find them, whether it's Maurice Bishop in Grenada, whether it's motherfucking Chief Malik Angel Bay in Chicago, whether it's Big Tookie or a Black Panther on the West Coast, it doesn't matter. Wherever one of us at that is starting to make the necessary connections to move these people off the land, they murder them. They murdered Maurice Bishop. They murdered Malcolm X. They murdered Noble Drew Ali. They murdered Medgar Evers. They just kept murdering us. They murdered Clan 13X. They murdered almost all the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar family. The only reason he didn't get murdered because he wasn't home, doing the same fucking dirt. The same people. So the ones that's behind it now, they had hits on various different people that had to be removed out of the picture. So Maurice Bishop is, for us, a chief cult figure. He's somebody that we can teach our sons that this is how a man moves in politics.
I'm going to study this guy. Sure.
Yeah. You can pull up one of his speeches on YouTube. He wasn't for no games. They got some short ones too. But Maurice Bishop ties me back to a guy named Tony Martin. Remember Tony Martin?
Tony Martin. That name sound familiar. Tony Martin.
You remember the Jewish Onslaught, right?
No.
Pull up Jewish Onslaught. So back in like 97, Tony Martin was trying to use the secret relationship between blacks and Jews to teach a class in his college classroom. And the Jewish Defense League came out against him, and it's the Jewish Onslaught, ONSLAUGHT.
Spell that last part again.
ONSL. There you go.
Okay. Damn. Tony Martin.
Right there on the right, yeah. Tony Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, right under that, you see the blue one in the middle? Under him? Click that. This is the reverse side of the book. I don't know if you'll be able to read it, but it tells you what the book is about. Yeah. So when he never felt any pressure like he did from the Jewish Onslaught, and he was talking about how he didn't know nobody else that could have this kind of power that could affect his life this way. Right? Now, the Jews he talking about are the Zionist Jewish Moors that just running the show. Okay, so one of the speakers that he had come in one time was Maurice Bishop. Yeah. I think you muted, Elder.
Okay, yeah, we got it right here.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that's the Jewish Onslaught. That's the book he wrote telling about the struggle he was going through. The irony of it is the same. It feels the same as what Malcolm described when he said to Alex Haley, I don't think the Nation of Islam behind this because I train them guys and I know what they do. This is not them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, now, the description that he gives, it feel the same energy is coming off of these people that he's talking about in this book.
Yeah.
All right, now, Maurice Bishop and Tony Martin end up trying to make some connections with some of the organizations here for support. Everybody was scared.
Damn. Hey, so these black Jews, like you said, they don't play no games. They got everybody spooked out. Like everybody, like, oh, I don't want to mess with them guys. Them guys, they dirty. They ain't gonna play by the rules.
So then the same people that killed Clarence, that murdered Clarence 13X.
Man, come on now. You going in. Now go ahead.
Okay, so they caught him in Harlem and shot him in the middle of the night. Thought that, nobody didn't know who did it.
Yeah.
Right, but we know who did it.
The same niggas, man.
We know who did it down to the trigger man because it's in the files. It's just not made public. The same way as Malcolm X assassination was caught on live news feed. Most people don't know that. It was a whole press section in the Audubon ballroom recording for TV when Malcolm was taking the stage when they shot him, and they got the whole thing on camera, and the FBI seized all of the footage.
Yeah.
Why would they do that and blame two innocent men out of the three of having something to do with it? Why would they do that?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. They protect their own. One of them was a loyalist to Elijah. The other two wasn't. And if they was trying to get Malcolm was running a red herring. The red herring is when you run the distraction to draw the heat off your guy. That's why he made that statement in the autobiography that I'll lay my life down for this man, and he didn't say it in the past tense. He said it in the present tense at the time he was talking to Alex.
What man was he talking about?
Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah.
Okay, so now Elijah Muhammad discovered what Noble Jew Ali carried as the secret. He came over from the Moorish Science Temple in the early days of the Nation of Islam, right? And if you ain't been around, you won't never know who Brother Moon is. But Farrakhan always kept him close until he crossed over. Because he was the one who carried the motherfucking keys that's called the silver key from the Maurice Science Temple to the Nation of Islam. The gold key came through the Prince Hall Lodge, and it came in off of the UNIA adaptation to W.E.B. Du Bois and collaborating to set up sororities and fraternities to pass the gold key. Right? The gold key is the solar magic, conjure keys, the keys to the conjure. If you don't know where to look, you can't find them.
So let me ask you this. So is this so it's going back to, like I said, it's a war between good witches and bad witches, or good wizards and bad wizards.
For the most part. Now, where is the story at that tell us about the Conjure War? It's in the King Tut story.
Okay.
And remember, in the King's Tut story, it was the priest of Amun, the unknown god, versus the priest of the Aten, the one who chooses to be known. What's the dispute? So they challenged him to a conjure war. All of the different dynasties had a master of the conjure war. Still there? Can you hear me, Elder? Your microphone on mute. Who I was or had heard of me until they contacted me.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And have they been silent ever since? Have they been in the forefront?
Well, that's the rule. Matter of fact, one of them called me. He said, "Brother, I'm not even supposed to be talking to you, but I know who you are, and after all this long wait, I had to see you and talk to you for myself." So he knew who I was even better at that particular point in time than I did. But I was more from the standpoint of I can solve the problem, but the people don't really want the problem solved. They'd rather go along to get along, so I don't want to participate under those conditions. And he told me, he said, "I know you're going to fix it, but before you do what you're going to do, before the world see who you is and see you do what you're going to do," he said, "I had to call you personally." He said, "I've been waiting a long time to finally get to talk to you." So he knew who I was. Right? And I know for a fact that all of these Masonic lodges know who I am. I got too many messages that
see that depending on what you get ready to say, then they break you up. Let's see, y'all. This is fire stuff. This is stuff they don't want out. This is stuff they don't want out. They don't want you to know this stuff.
Masonic lodges very.
All right. Okay. Watch yourself, y'all. In the chat, be respectful. Be respectful. Okay. So, anyway, where were we? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, you were talking about. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's the speed because you're on your phone, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes the speed and all this being on all this long, the speed is a factor. So it slows you down. Plus, I'm pretty sure that they throw in some monkey wrenches in there because they don't
Yeah,
want.
because I sure was saying that the Masonic lodges know who I am.
Right.
And they didn't made it clear that they knew that I was here and that I was coming to clean this shit up. And they've told other people who've in turn come back and asked me, is it true?
Really?
Yeah. And those are card-carrying Masonic brothers of good standing in the lodge with a good reputation among the brothers of the lodge and the people in the community who've been in the community being active workers in the community. So I know they know what they're talking about because other than listening to my video,